Hi, my name is Suniti, and welcome to a practice where the invitation will be to rest. I'm practicing here outside on a beautiful fall evening, and we'll see how this goes. It's a busy time of the evening, so there's dogs barking and, people moving about, but it does feel really good to just have carved out a little bit of time to practice with you. I'm going to practice on a blanket because that feels cozy. And I'm going to use a bolster. So if you don't have a bolster, maybe grab a bed pillow and then you can wrap that up in a towel so you have a bolster-like form. Or you can find something else around your house, a different shape of a pillow or cushion, and we can make it work. All right, so find a comfortable seat. Bring your attention to your breath. And notice the turnings where the inhale turns to meet the exhale, and where the exhale turns to become an inhale. What do you notice when you rest into the turnings? What do you notice when you rest into the breath? Rest into the experience of breathing. Very gently begin to move your spine into a cat-cow-like movement. So when you inhale, you can rock your pelvis forward and increase the length of the front of your spine. And when you exhale, rock back to find some length through the back of your spine. And a few times like that. So rocking forward. Imagine there's a wave coming from the back to open up the front body. And imagine there's a wave coming from the front to lengthen your back body. And again, experience your breath. And experience the turnings where your inhale becomes your exhale, where your exhale becomes your inhale. And gently release that to come to all fours and move through cat-cows here, now with this new orientation to gravity. Again, being moved by breath and dropping into experience your body moving with breath. or being moved by breath. As you're ready, find a neutral spine and head back towards a child's pose. Notice your touch with the ground. Notice what it's like to rest into this touch. Every exhale, find the turning down towards the bottom and feel into the inhale. And then be with your inhale. And again, notice the turning where your inhale becomes an exhale. Press down into your hands to walk yourself back up and come onto your seat. Extend your legs forward out in front of you. So we'll bend the knees and slide your bolster or pillow underneath your knees to then externally rotate your legs and have a seat on your sitting bones. So it might be enough being upright, or you might even want a little bit of cushion under your knees, or under your hips rather. If it feels like you have a little room to fold forward, then begin to tip your hips forward to bring your hands forward, or maybe onto your feet, or maybe onto the bolster. You can play around and see what is most comfortable for you right now. And then if you've tipped forward, you could round. Relax your tongue, relax your jaw, relax your face, letting your face surrender to gravity. Be with your breath. And notice what little amount of effort is required to be here. Notice what it's like to be with the turnings of the breath, but also to be with the fullness of each breath without anticipating the pause. So with the inhale, and there's the lingering moment and the turning, and with the full exhale, again being with the lingering and the turning. Noticing what it's like to experience breath. You might also notice what it's like to observe the breath. Maybe it's like looking outside from a window versus stepping outside and feeling the outside with your senses. And as you're ready, let's slowly start to come up and slide your bolster off to the side to lay down on your back. So a brief Shavasana to pause and listen. And again, with this, curiosity of what amount of effort is required to be here. What little amount of effort is required to be here? Gently hug your knees into your chest, rock out a little side to side. And then extend your legs back out and reach your arms back overhead. So we'll keep the hips where they are, but wiggle your feet over to the right, and then wiggle your shoulders and your hands over to the right as well. So you're making the shape of a letter C if I were to be looking at you from the sky, or like you're making the shape of a banana. And then go ahead and cross your right ankle over your left ankle. And if you like, you can hold on to your left wrist with your right hand. And then again, resting into the ground. Receiving the chest. And being with breath. As you breathe, your body is changing shape. Experience that shape change. Notice the changing shape of the left side with each breath, expanding and condensing. And let's gently unravel from that. Come back through center and a brief pause in your Shavasana. Notice the difference between the two sides. And then let's find the second side. So your hips can be heavy, making contact to the earth, and then wiggle your legs to the left. Your shoulders and arms up and overhead, also to the left. And again, you can cross your left ankle over your right to lengthen the whole right psoas pathway. comfortable, you can also hold on to your right wrist with your left hand. And again, being with breath. Notice how your side body expands and condenses, and be in the experience. And truly giving yourself permission to rest, a moment to be easy on yourself. And gently release, coming back towards a very brief Shavasana. Now let's roll onto the belly and let your hands come out in front of you. So one option here would be to rest your forehead on the floor, like so. Some people find that to be, you get used to it over time, but some people find it just to be a little bit too squishy on their noses. So if you prefer, you can rest your forehead on your bolster, giving your nose a little more space and room. You can decide, and if that's, not great for you, feel free, of course, to make some shifts, maybe turning your head to one side. Notice what it feels like to breathe here on your belly. Resting into the ground. Resting into your breath. Rest into the space between the inhale and exhale. Rest into the space between the exhale and inhale. Gently press back to a child's pose. And begin to roll yourself up. So grab hold of your bolster, or you could use your pillow, or you could use a blanket rolled up, and then have a seat in front of it. And allow for some space between your pelvis and the bolster. And begin to come back so that your spine is resting, or the spine is lining up with the midline of your bolster. And you can rest your head back. So if when you lay your head back, you're finding that the front of the neck is much longer than the back of the neck, or maybe it feels like your chin is being pushed up, then try putting another blanket or a pillow underneath your head so that your forehead is in line with your chin, and you'll get some nice length of your neck. So one option here would be to keep your knees bent and have your feet on the floor. Another option would be to extend your legs long. You can decide what feels best for your low back today. And then again, this invitation to rest into the ground. Rest into the support of gravity. Rest into breath. Direct your attention towards your pelvis. Notice how your pelvis is moving with the breath. Notice what happens at the top of the inhale and the bottom of the exhale in relationship to breath. So what happens to your pelvic floor? What happens to the size and shape of your pelvic bowl? And rising up to feel the movement of your ribs. Drop your attention underneath your ribs to be with the movement of your lungs. What's the feeling of your ribs and your lungs when you're with the little movements between each breath? And release any effort. Rest and open attention so you can release your attention to the fullness of this moment. And gently find a little bit of movement. Bend your knees and place your feet on the floor if they're not there already. And very gently roll to your side. With the support of your hands, come up to your seat simply to move your props off to the side and then lay back down and hug your knees into your chest. Again, if it's comfortable, you can rock out a little side to side and then make your way to a twist, sending your legs over to one side for your supine twist. Now in the rest, sprinkling in a quality of gratitude. Gratitude for breath, gratitude for body, and very gently travel through center and find the other side. And again, gently transitioning back to center. Hug your knees into your chest. Again, this recognition of this moment and the awe of breath. Okay, so for our final few minutes together, feel free to lay down or sit up for meditation position, seated, whatever would feel most restful and nourishing. And again, notice what little amount of effort is required for this moment. Finding the personal permission to rest, giving yourself the permission needed to be in the support of gravity, to rest. Release the effort of having to do anything or be anyone or go anywhere. And coming back to breath. Allow for a little movement to be in your body. And then let that movement grow to eventually come up to your seat if you're not there already. So a nice experiment is you go along with your day or night is to release effort. So sometimes when I'm in my work or in my chores and I can feel a lot of efforting, I just check in. It's like, what little amount of effort's required to be here? Just try it out, see what you notice. All right, we'll close with a bow. Thank you.